Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take sources that you, our listeners, provide, and we really dig into them.
Yeah, we pull out the key insights, the core ideas to get you informed, but, efficiently.
Think of it as your shortcut to really getting what's going on.
And today we've got something interesting. It's a transcript from a YouTube video. Uh, IELTS Speaking Band 9.0 Advanced Answers from the IELTS Advantage channel.
Exactly. And IELTS, that's the International English Language Testing System. So this isn't just casual chat.
No, it's a test setting. This video shows someone performing at a really high level, Band 9, talking about, well, all sorts of things.
Daily life stuff, dreams, communication, family.
Right.
Yep.
So our mission here isn't just to admire the English, though it is impressive. We want to see what else is there.
What observations about routines, values, maybe cultural perspectives are hiding in plain sight?
Exactly. In the speaker's answers, but also the examiner's feedback, too. We're looking for those little nuggets, maybe surprising facts or relatable bits.
Okay, so let's get into it. First up, daily routine.
Right. The speaker described their weekday. Wakes up around 8 a.m., brushes teeth, washes face, breakfast, the usual morning stuff. Then drives to work.
Okay.
Comes home, dinner, maybe some Netflix. They actually called it very average mundane.
Average mundane. It's funny, isn't it? Even someone operating at this high language level describes their life like that.
Well, it does make you think maybe there's comfort in that rhythm. We put so much pressure on having extraordinary days.
Yeah, maybe the ordinary is okay too.
And the change since childhood. Pretty simple.
Mm.
Work instead of school.
That's it.
Seems so. But then the weekend hits.
And that's where things change, right?
Oh, completely. Weekends are intentionally for enjoyable stuff.
Yeah.
Meditation, writing.
Writing, like journaling.
Journaling.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also bigger ideas, aspirations for novels, even this picture of retiring to the countryside, writing surrounded by animals.
Wow, okay. Quite the vision.
And also yoga, wanting to try horse riding. Very different from the weekday description.
It's a really strong contrast, isn't it? Weekday focus, weekend fulfillment.
Exactly. It's that balance.
Yeah.
Which makes you, the listener, think. How's your balance? Routine versus recharge. Are you intentional about it?
Good question. Okay, moving from the concrete routine to something a bit more ethereal, dreams.
Right. The speaker said they dream sometimes, but not, all the time.
Yeah.
And often don't remember them.
Sounds familiar. I rarely remember mine.
But what's interesting is their take on what dreams might mean. They sort of believe that repressed emotions or stress could come out in dreams.
Like your subconscious working things out.
Yeah, that maybe you can learn something from them. They were a bit more hesitant about predicting the future, though. Said they were on the fence.
On the fence.
Yeah, but also found the idea credible. It's this acknowledgement of intuition, but with a healthy dose of skepticism.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Do we just write dreams off, or do we sometimes think, maybe there's something there?
Exactly. So, for you listening, do you pay attention to your dreams at all? Random noise, or maybe something more?
Okay, let's shift gears to something very tangible. Email.
The inbox.
The speaker talked about work emails. From managers, they called them hubs. Other departments, follow-ups, meeting requests.
Usual suspect.
Yeah, task reminders. But their strategy for replying was interesting.
How so?
They said they prefer to actually do the thing first. Like, if someone asks for a file, they attach the file in the reply, rather than just saying, got it, I'll send it later.
Oh, okay. So action first, then confirm with the result.
Exactly. Very results-driven, you could say. Less about just acknowledging receipt.
That's quite efficient, actually. Cuts down on back and forth.
Right, and advertising emails. Generally a no.
Unless
it's a brand they actually follow and like and there's a sale on.
Fair enough. Can't argue with a good sale from a brand you like.
So, it makes you think about your own email habits, doesn't it? Are you quick to reply or do you act first? How's your system working for you?
Good point. Okay, let's talk about exercise.
The speaker admitted they don't exercise as much as they'd like.
Oh, why is that?
Found the gym tedious and didn't like the hassle of classes, traffic, all that.
Relatable. Many people feel that.
Yeah. So the preference, slower stuff, yoga, swimming, things where you don't get, super sweaty.
Interesting preference. And what about the best exercise?
Surprisingly, they picked Pilates. Not for burning calories, necessarily, but because it tones you up, makes a visible difference to your shape, your silhouette.
Focusing on the aesthetic outcome there. That's a
Uh,
specific perspective.
yeah. And changes since childhood. The speaker sort of mused that maybe the types of exercise people enjoy haven't changed that much, but perhaps overall activity has gone down.
Less activity overall.
Maybe. Shifting from things like, say, cycling or tennis to, well, they joked about dancing on TikTok.
No. Okay. Well, it's an observation, isn't it? This potential move towards maybe shorter bursts of digitally mediated movement.
It prompts you to think, yeah, what are your preferences? Have you seen changes like that around you?
Okay, let's move into more personal territory now.
Yeah.
Visiting friends and family.
Right. The speaker talked about a trip back to Taiwan, 3 weeks, mainly to see their mother, but a big focus on friends.
Ah, the chosen family aspect.
Exactly. They really articulated that feeling friends becoming your family, especially when you've moved away.
And they mentioned specific friends.
Yeah, Shirley, Tiffany, Eva, Sir, friends they'd known for years since they were 15 or 18, shows real depth.
And what do they do?
Mostly just hung out and talked a lot, catching up on life, relationships, jobs, happiness. Visited Sir's new restaurant.
Nice.
Went to a wedding, Jackie's wedding, with a funny story about maybe a bit too much whiskey.
Hey, happens at weddings.
And they mentioned the joy of seeing Tiffany and Eva with their new babies. It really paints a picture of these deep, chosen bonds.
It really does. It makes you, the listener, reflect, doesn't it? How do you nurture those important friendships, the ones that feel like family?
Especially across distance, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It takes intention. So, building on that family theme, let's talk about family celebrations in the speaker's home country, which sounds like Taiwan from the context.
Okay. They mentioned the big ones: Chinese New Year, Mid-Autumn Festival.
Key cultural events.
Yeah, but the general idea was kind of any celebration is an excuse to get the family together.
Which sounds nice, but...
But they also mentioned having a love-hate relationship with these gatherings
Why the hate part?
because of potentially intrusive questions from relatives.
Okay, I think many people can relate to that.
Right. Questions about marriage, babies, career choices, things that can feel a bit personal when you're just trying to relax, especially since visiting home is now like a vacation for the speaker.
Yeah, you want connection, but maybe not an interrogation. It's that tension between wanting to belong and wanting your own space and boundaries.
Exactly. It's complex. So for you listening, how do you navigate that, those family gathering expectations and dynamics?
It's something many of us grapple with. Okay, let's zoom in a bit more on everyday family life.
Right. Helping kids with homework. The speaker saw that as really positive, important for parents to be present.
Good for the child's mental health, they suggested. Maybe even prevents needing therapy later. Quite a strong statement.
Yeah. And eating dinner together.
Oh, that was seen as very, very, very important. Crucial for connection, communication.
They even question the point of family if you don't have that regular interaction.
Wow, really prioritizing that shared time.
And chores. Sharing a load.
Generally, yes, important for fairness. But there was a nuance,
Okay.
a suggestion that maybe expectations could differ. Like if one parent works really long hours outside the home, maybe they have fewer chores at home. The speaker even flagged it, saying it might sound sexist, but framed it as trying to achieve an equitable overall distribution of effort, considering work and home life together.
That's a tricky balance to strike, isn't it? Trying to be fair when circumstances aren't identical.
It is. And it makes you think about your own household, perhaps. How are things divided? Does it feel balanced to everyone involved?
Lots to think about there. Okay, let's switch now to the examiner's feedback on the speaker's performance. This gives us insight into communication itself.
Definitely. So, part one, the initial chat part of the test, the examiner said the speaker was very natural, effortless, like a casual conversation.
That's the goal, right?
But a caution, don't just list things. It's better to pick 1 or 2 points and go deep, really elaborate. That shows off your language skills more.
Go deep, not wide. Makes sense for demonstrating proficiency.
Absolutely. Elaboration is key. Then part 2, the longer talk. Excellent fluency.
Good.
But part 3, the discussion part. The feedback suggested exploring ideas from different angles, not just giving personal opinions.
So showing you can think about an issue more broadly, consider other perspectives.
Precisely. Engaging with the ideas in a wider context. It's a higher level skill.
Got it. What about pronunciation?
Band 9. Top marks. And the key thing noted was clarity, intonation, sentence stress. Not about having a specific accent.
That's really important, I think. It's about being understood clearly.
Exactly. Your accent doesn't determine your score there. It's about how clear and natural your rhythm and emphasis are.
Okay, and other scores.
Perfect fluency. Coherence, how the ideas link together, needed maybe a little attention and development sometimes. But Band 9 for grammar, both accuracy and range, and Band 9 for vocabulary.
Wow.
Yeah, described as idiomatic, precise, wide-ranging. Getting Band 9 across the board like that is, as the examiner said, really uncommon.
And the speaker themselves had some insight.
Yes, they mentioned being aware of thinking out loud, which they felt might sometimes affect how coherent they sounded.
That self-awareness is interesting. Like, knowing your own thought process might be a bit messy when spoken aloud.
Right. That awareness metacognition is valuable. So the big takeaway from all this feedback for you listening is understanding what makes communication effective. Clarity, depth, structure, different perspectives. It applies way beyond just a test.
Definitely. So, wrapping this deep dive up,
Yeah.
we've gone from the average mundane routine
Uh-huh.
to dreams, email strategies, exercise views, the importance of chosen family.
Navigated tricky family celebration dynamics, looked at daily family interactions.
And ended with really practical insights on what makes communication truly effective, drawn from that examiner feedback.
It shows how much you can actually unpack from, well, what seems like just a conversation about everyday life.
Yeah.
Reveals layers of experience, values, cultural points.
It really does. So here's a final thought for you to take away. We heard the speaker talk about chosen family and also that love-hate dynamic with biological family gatherings. It makes you ask yourself, what does family actually mean to you? And how do you consciously choose to prioritize and nurture the connections that truly matter in your life?
It's something to reflect on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Until our next exploration.